Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, available in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. If you're new to my channel, welcome! Thank you for subscribing below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do readings. I do 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. Twin Flame Romance, Life, Path, and Purpose. You can book that at my website, michellefondinauthor.com. That is my brand new website. In some places, if you go to the old website, it will not forward to the new website. So it's michellefondinauthor.com. This is a special message for Twin Flames, Divine Feminines. And this came to me because of the readings that I do throughout the week with various clients. Many of them are you, the viewer. And a lot of times if I see a repetitive pattern in readings from my clients, then I need to bring it up in a YouTube video that brings the message out to the collective. And that message is, what did God tell you about your divine masculine, divine feminine? And the reason why this is a super duper important message is because the things that I have seen and heard throughout the past several weeks, now this is kind of an ongoing thread, but I have heard it a lot more repetitively in the past several weeks. And the inspiration for this message came through that. And what I want you to know is that you need to trust what God told you about your divine masculine. And in fact, the advice came when I was coaching a client and we had like 1 or 2 minutes left in the reading. And I said to him, if you can carry one thing away from today, is don't look at the 3D reality of things. Look to the desired outcome. And in fact, a lot of times, and most times, that desired outcome is what God told you about your twin flame divine masculine toward the beginning of your journey. And I know some of you have grown weary, that you've been on this journey for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years or more, and you're not seeing the results in the 3D physical world. And therefore, you're really growing weary. And as a result of that, you're losing faith. You're reaching out to outside sources in order to get answers about your specific situation. And let me tell you this, you need to not have faith or trust in your divine masculine twin flame, or any human in that matter. What you do need to do though is trust in God, because God keeps his promises. God is not going to let you down. And if God promised to you that you would be in reunion with your twin flame divine masculine, if God promised to you that your divine masculine is your person, and if God promised to you that you would be married to your twin flame divine masculine, then faith in God is all you need. You don't need faith in humans, and you don't need faith in the 3D situation at hand. It's almost as if you just need to overlook the 3D situation and the 3D reality as it stands today, if it does not even remotely look like the outcome, the intended outcome, is even on the right pathway. You might see your divine masculine still married to someone else, still in a relationship with someone else, or maybe they just got their girlfriend pregnant and you're like, what the heck? I've been on this journey for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and I'm not seeing the outcome. The outcome does not look good. It looks grim. And as I was preparing to do this video, I was reminded of a Bible story by the prophet Elijah in 1 Kings 18. The prophet Elijah in the Bible was a person in the Old Testament. So we're talking thousands of years ago. And this is a time when paganism was widespread and there was no belief in God. And Elijah, being a prophet of God, was one of the rare people in those times who believed in God. And everybody pretty much thought he was crazy, but if you read the story of Elijah, he performed many miracles just like Jesus performs, but through the hands of God. There is this story in 1 Kings chapter 18 where they were in Samaria and there had been a drought for 3 years. We're talking no water. And if you live in the desert and you are a people living in the desert and there is no water, how are you supposed to survive? That's the story. So the story is there was this 3-year drought in Samaria. People were starving. Starvation was like, people were dropping like flies. And Elijah the prophet had to believe that God was not going to let the people suffer and send rain. This is chapter 18, verse 1. And it says, later on in the 3rd year of the drought, the Lord said to Elijah, go and present yourself to King Ahab. Tell him that I will soon send rain. So Elijah went to appear before Ahab. And later on in the chapter, so the thing is, like, I'm sure King Ahab was like, are you crazy? There's like sun and blue skies. This has been going on for 3 years. Today there's sun and blue skies. There is not a cloud in the sky. What do you mean rain is coming? But God shows up in mysterious ways, right? When it looks impossible, God shows up. Then later, Elijah prays for rain. Then Elijah said to Ahab, go get something to eat and drink, for I hear a mighty rainstorm coming. So Ahab went to eat and drink, but Elijah climbed to the top of Mount Carmel and bowed low to the ground and prayed with his face between his knees. Then he said to his servant, go and look toward the sea. The servant went and looked, then responded to Elijah and said, I don't see anything. 7 times Elijah told him to go and look. Finally, the 7th time, his servant told him, I saw a little cloud about the size of a man's hand rising from the sea. So we're talking like blue skies, sun, and there's this teeny cloud in the sky. Then Elijah shouted, hurry to Ahab and tell him, climb into your chariot and go back home. If you don't hurry, the rain will stop you. And soon the sky was black with clouds. A heavy wind brought a terrific rainstorm, and Ahab left quickly to Jezreel. Then the Lord gave special strength to Elijah. Okay, imagine being Elijah, leading people in the desert, being a prophet of God in this time of drought. Nothing, no rain in sight, no rain in the sky, no water to be had, and no food as a result of not having water, because water nourishes the crops. And imagine being this man who Elijah, for all intents and purposes, was a totally normal man, just a man who had faith in God and who prayed to God and who listened to God's messages. And imagine the risk that he took. Can you imagine going to a king and saying, prepare, there's going to be rain? And what if there wasn't rain? That Elijah would certainly be beheaded or killed or whatever kind of torture they did at those times. But he took that great risk. And imagine even his servant that had to go to the sea 7 times, 7 different times. And Elijah's like, go to the sea, look for clouds. And 7 times, his servant came back to him and it was like, there's nothing. Well, there's a tiny little teeny tiny cloud. And so Elijah had to walk by faith and not by sight. And what I'm saying to you is that when you walk by faith and not by sight, that is what God is expecting you to do. And no one, not anyone, can tell you otherwise if God has sent you the clear message about your twin flame divine masculine. Not me, not any other reader, not any other YouTuber, not any other twin flame coach. No one can tell you what God has written in your heart. No one can deter you from God's word to you about your twin flame divine masculine. Let me just tell you this. When clients come to me in desperation, because let's face it, the twin flame journey is super duper hard, right? I mean, I know that, you know that, super duper hard. But when twin flames come to me for readings and coaching, and they desperately ask me, can you please tell me if this person is my twin flame? My answer to them is like, I can't tell you if your person is your twin flame. You should know, you know. The angels will give me sometimes in readings a little bit of an indication, like a few cards that pop up that may or may not indicate a twin flame connection. But let me just tell you this, 90% of the time, I don't get clear messages that the person that my client is asking about is their twin flame. Why? Because God is calling you to have faith in the messages that He has given to you, He has handed to you about your twin flame journey, about your divine masculine, and about the outcome of the journey. You need to trust and have faith in those messages that you receive about your twin flame journey. So what I want you to know is that if you jump from reader to psychic to a YouTuber, getting all these messages, the messages are going to get very confounded and super duper confused. All that readers do or twin flame coaches do is they provide guidance to you about the journey itself. So for example, if you've ever gone bowling and, or if you've gone bowling with kids especially, and they put up the guardrails so that your ball does not go in the gutter. And I will tell you, I am a very, very, very bad bowler and I super duper need those guardrails. But what do those guardrails do when you go bowling? Those guardrails are just guides, right? They're just kind of like guides to help you get the ball toward the pins so it doesn't just drop into the gutter until you hone your skills, until your skills are much stronger so that you can then not have to use the guardrails and just go straight for the pins. YouTubers who talk about twin flames, readers who help you and guide you about your twin flame journey are just that. They're just the guardrails. That's all. And so the guardrails are not the pins, and the guardrails are not the outcome to help you get the score that you need to win the game. That's just the truth. It's not that. So if you are in a super duper desperate situation right now, where you are faltering on your journey and you're losing faith, you're losing hope, and you just don't know anymore, which is a lot of what I've heard this week in my personal one-on-one readings with clients, then what you need to do is go back to God's word. Go back to God's word for you and for your twin flame journey. What did God tell you about your twin flame divine masculine? What did God tell you about the outcome? I know what God told me about my twin flame journey. I know what God told me about the outcome. God made that pretty crystal clear to me from the very beginning. But what did God tell you about your twin flame journey? And what did God tell you about your divine masculine and the outcome of the journey for you in your particular situation? Because only you know that. No other person can tell you that. No other person can confirm. No other person can give you the faith and strength that you need in your own journey, because humans are fallible. Humans are fallible. I will tell you that. I'm fallible. You're fallible. All humans are fallible. And your twin flame divine masculine is fallible. Your twin flame divine masculine, even though it seems that they are so perfect, they're not perfect. They're human. So what you need to do is go back to those words. Go back to those words and strengthen your faith. Be like Elijah and have unwavering faith that your storm clouds are coming, that your rain is coming, that the abundance of rain, which is going to bring you to your ultimate destiny, that's going to bring you abundance, is coming. You need to have total faith, just like Elijah, that the words of God are true, because God does not go back on his promises at all. While humans may falter, God does not falter. Stay in faith. Walk by faith and not by sight. Whatever you see in the 3D world is not the reality necessarily. It might be, but it's not necessarily the reality that God has spoken into your heart. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for supporting this YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can also pledge your support on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin. And I will see you in the next video.